We're going beyond the headlines now with special assignment and an inspiring story from the heart.
Oftentimes in sports, the word courage is tossed around. To some athletes, it means confidence. To others, it means mental toughness.
Wallingford's Ryan Gordon will never play professional sports, never be a big college star. But a word like courage doesn't seem to do him justice.
As FOX61 Sports Director Rich Coppola shows us, just as illness never stopped this young Wolfpack fan from living his life, his legacy is just beginning to help and inspire others.
Growing up, he looked like your average young boy. Then again, Ryan Gordon would never settle for just average. The outside camouflaged what was happening inside. Ryan's esophagus wasn't working, and over the course of his life, Ryan would undergo more than 20 surgeries trying to correct his gastrointestinal problems.
Never did Ryan complain. Never did he act like, why me? He accepted it, and he fought to overcome it.
Ryan took to golf and would later work in the pro shop at the Tradition in Wallingford.
White on the move with Sanderson over the line. Marshall 2-on-1. Here's Sanderson. Big score!
When he was 9, Ryan went to his first Whalers game and immediately fell in love with the game of hockey. A year later, the team left for Carolina. Ryan remained a big fan. The Wolfpack came to town, and Ryan hopped on board with the new team, his love of the sport growing. Ryan was growing up, a handsome young man, and at Kingswood Oxford in West Hartford, Ryan was a manager on the hockey team. He dreamed of becoming a hockey play-by-play man and interviewed Wolfpack players for the school newspaper.
Kids still talk about Ryan, even though he's graduated. And through all that Ryan has been through, what amazes me is that he still graduated with excellent grades.
Ryan began classes at the University of Central Florida in Orlando, but his illness forced him to return to Connecticut. It's believed the chronic irritation of Ryan's lungs is what led to his cancer. Ultimately, a battle Ryan couldn't win. He knew he was dying, but refused to think of himself. Yesterday, Wolfpack coaches, who once made a living delivering checks, took one from Ryan, one they'll remember the most, a portion of Ryan's college fund, money he can't use that Ryan wanted to help someone else realize their dream. The Wolfpack coaching staff accepted this remarkable display of generosity. They've lost their biggest fan, but found an even greater wisdom.
It's such an inspiration for someone who's gone through so much. I mean, more than you and I will ever have to go through, God willing, or our children. And he's done it so courageously. Being in his company is an inspiration.
Whatever adversities or things you may face as an athlete are really insignificant to the things that he and his family deal with, and obviously with a great amount of courage.
He has shown courageousness and strength in the face of adversity that most of us will never know in our entire life.
It touches me in places that are hard to touch.
When you do meet people like this with these extraordinary circumstances, and you see how much courage they can face the day with, it truly is inspiring.
I have to say that Ryan probably is one person who has touched my life and my heart more deeply than anybody else I know.
Ryan passed away this morning. Just last week, he wrote a letter to the Wolfpack thanking the organization for what they did for him. He hoped people will follow his lead and donate as he did. I also found out today, Ryan also made a donation to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, which I know Brent and Susan was near and dear to his heart.
What an inspiring young man, as the player said, and his nurse, who's known him for years, had said. Obviously, our prayers go out to his family for support, but you've known him for years, Rich. How has he struck you along the way? I mean, what do you think drives a young man like that?
The amazing thing is when I met other adults that also knew him, all the things I would say to the people around here and friends of mine who didn't know him are the exact same things I heard from them. Courage. He would inspire you, motivate you, and lead by example. And when you're a grown adult, you never come across a youngster, a kid, that can do what he did. He is everything you would want to see and don't often see in a young person.
In humankind, and he was 19?
19 years old.
You know, the money will be put to good use as well.
It certainly will.
Rich,
Thank you,
thanks.
Rich.